Hey everyone, welcome to another installment from Ampro Engineering. What we've got here is an FMS product. It's the FCX18 series, and we're looking at a K10 body style. As this is FMS and an FCX product, it's probably going to be pretty darn good. This is the black one, it looks like. Basic information here, like scale, and let's open it up. It looks very, very good. Beautifully painted body on this guy. It looks like, which color? The red is the painted and the black is the, I don't know, this looks painted. It's definitely molded black. Does the front hood open like the Blazer? Yes, it does. Okay. We've got that nice meaty battery that we first saw in the Land Cruiser. Remote control. It appears that we have gone back to the old dip switches, which I really, really liked. These set the type of battery, forward, reverse versus forward, reverse brake, and also two kinds of settings for your dig. I think it was 25, 50, 75, and 100. All right. First things first, the tires are too big. Not a fan of... honestly, it looks like a modern interpretation or a modern lifted truck, which I also don't like, but that is purely preferential. We are looking at all metal links. In fact, it's even telling us these are 72.2 millimeters long, beautifully made. The frame rails appear to be metal as well. We have a front axle mounted servo with ample clearance for everything, which is nice. Shocks are oil filled and come oil filled. It does not appear that we have an interior in this truck. At the rear, a full depth bed, a little bit of protrusion there from the shocks, but I think that is, that's definitely acceptable given the size of the bed. These tailgates are running on 4 separate hinges, metal, so they feel really, really nice opening and closing. Opening and why isn't it closing? There he goes. Yeah, wheels look too big. Tires feel nice and squishy. Very, very squishy. Remote control. I love these remote controls. They are very, very small, but my hand fits great on these things here, and I've driven these for hours without any issue whatsoever. Very basic. Nice texture in the molding process. These are not soft touch sprayed, which is fantastic. I love these radios. Now, this car I've seen before. Well, I knew this body looked familiar. What we've got here is a recycling, which is fine, of the earlier FMS trucks. So this was one of the original ones that does not have oil-filled shocks, it does not have a 2-speed trans, and it does not have portals. Here we've got the FCX24, which, like the 18, has a 2-speed transmission, portal axles, an absolutely outstanding platform. What they're doing is they're combining the brilliance of the FCX line with the scale body of the larger FMS trucks and giving us this. Now, with that said, we are going to have FCX level of off-road capability, but because this has significantly bigger wheels and tires, it's of course going to be going to have significantly more ground clearance. This is the particular style that I'm a big fan of. I like the whole more realistic look of this line right here. I like this quite a bit, but definitely we are going to have a lot more functionality here. These are also single speed, and single speed transmissions, although very good off-road, it is almost crippling when you want to take it on a trail because it drives significantly slower than you can walk. And that is not the case with the FCX cars. Even the 18s will just blister along at an awesome walking pace and then pop it into its low gear and it'll just chug right along, basically up a sheer rock face. One thing to note is that I guess since I have made aftermarket parts for this one, they should fit. Yep. On that one. So very neat, very, very neat. Let's pop a battery in it. Truck is on, very good. Okay, so we appear to be in high gear. So this selector is where we select the transmission. This is low. This is a 3-position switch, but the center position is just neutral. So you want to rev up your motor, you can, and then high gear. Okay. Headlights. Yes, we have headlights, high beam, flashers, off. Oh, we do have signals. Never mind. Front only. Front only. Okay, that's no signals. Headlights. Headlights and signals. And we have taillights. Great. These are taillights that brighten up, which is great too. Bright headlights. Okay, outstanding. That is great to see. We have our steering rate, throttle rate, steering trim, throttle trim. Nicely done build on this. Just trying to do a little bit of comparison here. Obviously, this one here does have a full interior as well as front inner fenders, and that's the result of having greater clearance than this one would have here. The interior would be significantly compromised with the 2-speed transmission. You could always mount the trans a little bit lower, but yeah, it's a significantly larger unit than what we have in this car here. So overall, very nice package. Again, not a big fan of the wheels, and I think if honestly, if this did have a set of wheels that were a bit, and this is not something that I would usually say, but a bit meatier, this could look really sick. I think what's bugging me right now is just the size of the rim. But I'm going to stop beating a dead horse and let's drive this. Good job. Doing good. Go over the big rock. Sweet. Drive, Nico. Come on. Go real slow, go. Yeah, try to go over that one. Ooh. Keep going. Back up.
I am pressing.
Try again, back up. Try to go forward now. Oh. Go ahead, Nico. Good job. A little slower, Nico, slower. Oh, careful, back up.
This is a huge one. This is a huge
Okay.
one.
All right, go ahead. Unfortunately, due to weather, I wasn't able to drive this vehicle as much as I would have wanted. However, I am very familiar with the FCX line of vehicles. Between the 24 or the 18 here, as well as the new FCX10 that just came out, they're a really rock solid platform. Ignoring the FCX10, I'm very familiar with the 18 and the 24, as well as my son, who is extremely familiar with the 24 here, the Smasher. And what I can say is that these are an outstanding platform. Between the build quality, the functionality, the ground clearance, all of them having really outstanding bodies. This one in particular, which is just beautifully painted. We've gotten it dirty, of course. They are really a win-win. But the question is it a win-win for you? Now, you're going to be hard-pressed here to not want one of these. The real question is which one to get. So let's just say you're new to the hobby, you're a bit on the younger side. There's really no wrong FCX. Perhaps the Unimog, which has a lot more detail and is kind of breakable. Maybe that one you'd want to stay away from. The 18, this one here, and the Land Cruiser, which have a bit more length and are a slightly larger scale, would perhaps be a little bit more suited for outdoors versus the 24 models, which are a little bit smaller and perhaps more suited for indoor. Although my son does drive this outdoor, we will give it a bath very often so that he can tear it up on the inside as well. So they're really rather versatile. And that's what's interesting about these is, although they are very capable indoors, just roaming around the living room, they're fantastic outdoors. And again, my video certainly did not do this vehicle justice. FMS does offer all the replacement parts you could possibly want for this vehicle, and more companies are providing upgraded parts. But I do have to simply stress that I have several of these with lots and lots and lots of miles, right there, without ever having a single failure. I'm not saying that they're not going to fail. What I'm saying is that they've been extremely robust and reliable. Really, my only downside to the FCX line, and this is not the entire line, just some of them, is this body, although it's not new to FMS. The earlier version with the lower and kind of a full undercarriage, I always forget what they call those. Those had a full interior, which I loved. And this particular model, as well as several other FCX cars, don't reciprocate that interior. But that is partly to do with not only the added goodies in here, like the 2-speed transmission kind of being a clearance issue, it's also going to increase to that bottom line. It'll be more expensive for a vehicle designed more for performance than the perfect scale realism, but it's pretty impressive how this vehicle is able to kind of straddle that line. My friends, thank you all so much for watching. While I've got you here, I did want to show you a little, I think I did show this earlier in the video, this here camper shell that I've whipped up quite some time ago. This will be on my mini factory coming pretty soon, but yeah, in this particular case here, I did print this in, this is an SLA print, which came out beautiful with the little vacuum form windows that I did, which look awesome. Anyway, that's part of why I love these so much, is that you can just kind of go nuts with the scale details and get yourself one heck of an awesome looking trail truck.